has the accessibility of the internet and social media ruined games? And to put it into perspective, like with people getting early copies as like streamers and streaming it and doing reviews, posting reviews on like gaming forums and stuff like that and social media, people that, play the game at a slower pace than others, and then people post on social media like spoilers and stuff like that sort of stuff. Has that ruined like gaming at least a little bit?
I mean, if you're pitching it in that frame, maybe a little bit. I think the internet has ruined a lot of stuff.
I believe so too.
I think the internet ruined the world, but it also, brought us together to a degree, in a sense. Like there's a lot of
it
benefits
has its
there.
goods, and I think the bad outweighs the good, but there are benefits to the internet and the benefits even in social media as well. Like the bad definitely outweigh the good.
If we're weighing pros and cons here, we definitely have a lot of work to do before the benefits far exceed the setbacks. This has been like a runaway freight train since Al Gore said, "Hey, the World Wide Web." Like it's unchecked, and I'm not saying that it should be checked. I don't agree with that. I think it's good that they're largely keeping their hands out of it, but I think it is negatively impacting people in a lot of ways
100%.
that are really, really, really hard to fix.
I can agree.
But as far as games are concerned, yeah, maybe a little bit. I don't see it, because when I think about a game, I think about when I was a kid playing a game and when we didn't have the internet.
Yeah.
And I think about how I enjoyed it then, and then I compare that to how I enjoy games now, and I think about whether I see it negatively. And I think that the thing is that although the internet, in the sense that you presented, could ruin a game, most of the games I play now I wouldn't be able to play without the internet.
True. I think for like the single player aspect of like games, it definitely has put a huge damper on it, especially for me, because like I don't have all the time in the world. I've said it 1,000 times, but when I'm naturally gonna be on social media or YouTube far more than I have time to play games, because I can listen to YouTube at work, and when I'm watching it upstairs or chilling at night, like I'm just naturally going to watch. And what is the content that I consume the most of in terms of YouTube? Gaming stuff. I like watching people play games. So when I pick up, a game and I want to play it blind, and I just want to not know anything, and I just want to figure it out.
1 second. You like watching people play games?
Yes.
I should have introduced you to my ex-girlfriend.
She played a lot of games. And I want to go into it blind. It's hard because the temptation is there to, when you get stuck and you're like, I don't want to spend the time figuring this out. I just want to get to the next part.
You want to look it up?
You can just look it up.
We could do that when we were kids, though.
If you had the strategy guide.
And if you didn't, you ran out to Babbage's or EB Games, or before it was EB Games, it was Electronics Boutique.
Mm-hmm.
You just went and got it.
Yeah.
Which sometimes was harder than... Do you remember, going to one EB Games and then them not having something, so
yes.
you, wind up getting your parents to take you halfway across the state? Sorry, I just sidetracked, but that was a good memory.
But then there's benefits to, I have that as an option to where, I don't have to get stuck and waste 3 full days of like my game time to try and figure something out. I can just be like, all right, I've hit my limit. I'm just going to look it up. Or when I play something and I'm like, what's the best build? Because then you get to go down that rabbit hole of like, you start your build earlier than you normally would, and you put all of your points that you can't take back into the things that further make that build stronger, which makes you then have the game be a little smidge bit easier. So for me, like, I've had more movies and shows get ruined for me than games, but that's just because I'm not friends with many people that play games like I do. That's just, and the people that I know that play games are people that play multiplayer games. They play, the Call of Duties, they play Destiny, they play whatever else is like Fortnite or whatever. Like, they mainly stick to those kind of games, so I don't really have to worry about those like games getting spoiled for me. The way that I have to worry about that is like I can avoid that. If I see like this person playing this game, I'm like, well, I'm just not going to watch them.
You said it on the channel.
What?
The F word.
Fortnite? We talked about it last week. Didn't we? We talked about it last week. I think.
We don't talk about Bruno.
But I do think that, like, the spoilers and like if I had a massive network of friends that played games and I had to worry about hopping on Facebook for them to spoil something or like texting me and stuff, like, it would definitely be a lot. My opinion would definitely be swayed. Like, yeah, it does ruin it to a small extent.
Gonna chime in. Present this in a light that some people aren't gonna like. Problem isn't the damn internet. Problem is that your friend thinks it's acceptable to put a spoiler out on the internet.
True.
The problem is people.
That is true. And it's especially when like the game just came out.
Yeah, like it just,
you have
people
like
aren't
this
self-aware.
This time period of just don't say anything.
Yeah, well, it's like when somebody's bowling a 300. If they have if they're 6 strikes in, you don't talk about it. We don't talk about Bruno. I mean, like, it keeps going back to that.
Dude,
it's like
I remember
there are accepted times to talk.
I remember the first time in my bowling league when I was watching, like, this was when I was 14 maybe, watching somebody bowl, and they were in the 10th frame, and they struck on the first frame of the 10th. They got a strike, and I was like, oh my god, you're gonna bowl a 300. And everybody just mean mugged me, and I was like, what did I do? It was like you just said like the most unspeakable thing, and everybody's just like,
the next ball was a stone 10 pin, wasn't it? It was a 9-count stone 10.
Yep.
And you walked out alive.
It wasn't even like just stone. Like, it had the wrap around too, where it was just insult to injury. Oh my god, it was wild. And ever since then, like, I learned that courtesy, and I've watched many people bowl 300 games since then, and I've zip it.
We had a guy last night, missed it on the 7-pin. The 7-pin actually moved so far that it was out of range on the rack. So the range comes down. It doesn't drop for him, and then the rack comes down, and then it goes to pick it up, and then it lifts up and it drops. It's like,
we gotta go bowling again.
We should.
It's been a while. It's
been a while.
Been a while since we've gone.
We should take the camera too.
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
That would be cool to do an episode from the bowling alley while we're bowling a game or two.
That would be impossible. But we can definitely
No, we just need 2 other people to go with us, so that way there's 4 of us, so the 2 of us are sitting down for some of it, and then we're up. Like, we could make it work.
We can shoot some footage, at least, of us bowling. That'd be fun.
Here, watch me throw a gutter ball.